And welcome back to the Country Critics yet again. As always, I'm Garth. That guy's Chris.
I'm Chris.
Yes, you are. And today is our new music reaction for the week, our second one here on YouTube. And I have a feeling we're going to have a very entertaining reaction for you in this one. It's Sam Hunt's new song, Hard to Forget. Chris, hit it! Alright, that was Sam Hunt's new single, Hard to Forget. Sam has said in his new music now, specifically everything on his new album Southside, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, including this song, that he's trying to infuse more of a traditional country sound into his music. And Chris, I can imagine by the facial expressions during that song, you weren't liking that.
Let me count the ways. Who allows this to happen? Who's walking around saying, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we have the track stutter?" Oh, you know what, Jim? You have a gift right there to
Jim?
play the old track and let it stutter.
Jim? Who's
and then
Jim?
play the new one. Jim, people had a meeting and they catered lunch in.
Oh.
And a guy sitting there, his name is Jim, and he says, "I got an idea." What's that? We should have the music kind of stutter. And it should be an old twangy song. You know, old twang belongs with old twang, not trying to mishmash.
So you don't think Sam accomplished what he was going for here with having a more traditional sound to his music?
Except for the last two notes at the end, absolutely not.
Okay.
The last two notes, it actually sounded like a country song. This was, again, more of that pop. A bunch of people gathered around and they said, "You got any ideas?" "I got an idea. Why don't we, I want to order my records and my music to channel more older country songs. But I don't want to cover the song because I'm not good enough to do that. I can only deliver what somebody wrote." Really? Where do they come up with these ideas? Is it the food that comes into these meetings?
Probably.
I mean, they say when a lot of girls get pregnant at the same time, it must be in the water. Well, it must be something they're eating because, let me tell you, lunch meat sandwiches for everybody and a bag of chips is not going very far in the brain pan.
Apparently not.
And if this was over steak dinners and old fashions, then we need to change up what we're doing here, gentlemen, because this is horrible. This is just absolute garbage. Well, I just want to ask Sam Hunt himself and go, do you realize what you're doing? You're not channeling and bringing in older country music. You're sampling and then quasi-rapping over that.
Yeah. Well, and Sam Hunt...
sampling and rapping, I'm going to go listen to the Beastie Boys because they know how to do it right.
Well, and Sam Hunt specifically, what he is known for at this point, I don't think you've ever listened to any Sam Hunt before this. Sam Hunt specifically is known for more of like a talk sing kind of thing. He doesn't really sing most of the time. He just kind of talks through it.
Yeah, if I want to talk sing, I'll turn the hip hop station on because that's talk sing. And and I'm a guy who listens to everything. It's everything from classical to hip hop, ABBA to Zappa. It doesn't matter. But if this is all you're going to do and say you want to channel older country music, you're still doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Absolutely wrong. No questions about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't argue with me. You can whine, grind, boat, and moan, bitch, and complain all you want. This is not how you would do it.
And I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with that. And I think we're gonna have a good example on Throwback Thursday of a way to channel older country music correctly.
Well, I hope so, because there are bands out there that are channeling the sound much better than that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I would say that the number one example is Midland.
Mm-hmm. Without a
you
doubt.
want to invoke an older country sound, listen to some Midland.
Mm-hmm.
And everything from Mr. Lonely back to Burnout, their cover of Jerry Reed's Eastbound and Down,
Cheatin' songs.
Eatin' songs.
Eatin' songs? No, cheatin' songs.
Cheatin' songs, eatin' songs, beatin', eatin', and cheatin' songs.
Yeah, there you go.
They're all in country music.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you have? You have an authenticity to them. You have a dedication to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you've been to see where you're going. You know, what a good friend of ours, he had me listen to Midland for the first time, and he said, "Who does this remind you of?" And I said, well, if I was going to take a wild guess at who you're expecting me to answer, I would say a group like Alabama, Exile. And he said, what about Restless Heart? And I said, wow, there's a group I hadn't heard of for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, it's those harmonies, it's the style, it's the way it's delivered, the musicianship. That's making your music sound like older country, not a sample of a Hank Williams song or a Ferlin Husky song, and just saying, "Oh, I want to invoke this in my music," because that's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sample that you're delivering over.
I think you're 100% right on that. There's definitely personally, I think between Midland and the Hot Country Knights, those are the groups right now that are invoking that older sound that really works. And if Sam Hunt truly wants to channel older country music, he needs to take a page out of their book, because this doesn't channel older country music. This, I don't even know what you would call this, but this doesn't channel it, not one bit. And pick a better song to channel. I'm sorry, but I don't really like Webb Pierce's "There Stands the Glass." I don't think that's a good song.
Yeah, you know, I got to agree. You know, if you're going to do a collaboration with someone, that's fine, because you can do an unknown cover of something, or a collaborative, already written song by someone else, and you each have your part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a good collaboration of that, it's going out on a limb here, but to keep it in that older country style that we're talking about, is Junior Brown and Hank Thompson singing "Don't Count Them Chickens Before They're Hatched."
Have not heard that.
It's got a great humorous aspect to it, but Junior Brown is still full of vim and vigor in both vocals and guitar. Hank Thompson is not just there along for the ride. He puts a lot of effort into it, you know, even though he's, you know, good grief, he's probably in his 70s. When this was done, he was glad to be there. He was glad to be a part of it, not just going through the motions and kind of strumming along behind Junior, who was actually leading. No, they both did it equally. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great up-tempo, more traditional style country song.
Mm-hmm.
But even Junior Brown will tell you he doesn't like to be traditional without being relevant.
Yeah.
And you know, and that message comes through in a lot of his music. But that's channeling older country style.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. All right, so Chris, give us a grade on this one.
Oh, a grade. Wow, we're talking on a scale of 1 to 10 or A to F. What do you want? Your choice.
So, we're still going 1 to 10 musical notes here.
Oh, 1 to 10 musical notes. You know, since it's really hard to have the key of F flat, you know, I'm gonna give this a solid, just a solid 3.
I feel like that's what you give everything. Everything so far has been like a 2 or a 3 for you.
Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because it's not it's not hitting the buttons that that you want to have hit. You know, if you're gonna if you're gonna if you're gonna be in a fight, if you're gonna be in boxing, do you want to just love tap the guy or do you want to knock him out? Come out, bowl me over, knock me out with something.
Yeah.
Is it what was the you know you want more of a traditional sound with a lot of camp and kitsch to it? Look at Alan Jackson's "I Don't Even Know Your Name."
Oh yeah.
That's got that traditional sound to it. It's got a fiddle solo, it's got a guitar solo, both acoustic and electric, I do believe.
You just gave me an idea for a Throwback Thursday.
And the video just takes you away. Really, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Foxworthy and his antics. The way the video was shot, it's great, but it still has that traditional country sound to it. It's not a bunch of audio technical workings that it just left me feeling flat. Why? Who cares?
Yeah.
I want something I'm going to remember. I want something that's going to have fun, but it's going to stick with me. That you can have fun with once or twice. And it's not... If you can get past the first, 30 seconds of it with the Webb Pierce intro and get past the nasally twang that's also in an echo overdub... Come on, that's not the way that was sung. When it was originally recorded, it was probably recorded in mono, so it doesn't have a whole lot of depth. But if you could get that original tape and remaster that, you could have had something.
Yeah.
Or even if he had just channeled the song and covered it completely, he would have had more. I would have given it a solid 5 had he, or 6 even, had he actually covered the song or incorporated more of that song into the current lyrics to say, I'm going to cover a verse out of it, I'm going to cover a chorus, and write a song around that. And you can have the original as the opener, you have the verse that segues into his covering the chorus, and then transition back to go toward the end. That would have been paying more homage to the original track than what he did here. That was all production behind the scenes, and somebody said, what do you think of this? And he goes, I've got zeros in the check, I approve.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give it a slightly better score than what you did. You gave it a 3, right?
I give it a solid 3.
Okay, so I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
So we're going to average out to a 3.5 here, and I think that's a fair score for the song. If this had been my first listen, I'd have probably been right there with you at a 3, maybe even a 2. I did not like this at all the first time I listened to it. It's grown on me a little the more I've listened to it, but I still think it could be so much better than what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, there's zeros in the check, and somebody liked his idea.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's our new music reaction for the week. Sam Hunt's Hard to Forget, the Country Critics rating of 3.5 for Sam Hunt. Hard to Forget. Throwback Thursday coming up on Thursday this week. This is going to be a fun one. I'm really intrigued to see what Chris thinks of this one. And then album review on Saturday. That's a good one as well. We have very different opinions on this album review, so definitely one to check out for this week. So if you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so you got the notifications turned on so you don't miss anything going forward from the Country Critics. Hit that big thumbs up button while you're down there so the YouTube algorithm knows you like us, and hit that share button, share it with your friends as well. That is also something the YouTube algorithm apparently really likes. But at that, this has been New Music Reaction for the week on the Country Critics. As always, I'm Garth, and he's Chris.
Oh, you want me to say something?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.